Hello, this is Dimensional Analysis Made Easy. This video is for students who are struggling with math. Dimensional Analysis Part 1, One-Step Problem. What is dimensional analysis? Dimensional analysis is a way chemists and other scientists convert units of measurement. To explain it better, when we are looking at dimensional analysis, we are looking at unit conversion. We have 1 dozen equal to 12x. Dozen is a different unit from x, but they are equivalent, because if I ask you, give me 1 dozen of egg, you give me 12x. So these two are equivalent. So in problems about dimensional analysis, you are given something in 1 unit and you're asked to find the equivalent in a different unit. That's what it means. So let's look at an example. Okay. Example 1. How many eggs are in 2 dozen? The first thing you do is to understand the question. You look at what are you given and what do you want. You underline what you are given. You circle what you want. You start from your starting point is what you know, and your destination is what you want. Now, you ask yourself, what's the relationship between dozen and egg? Do they have any direct relationship? So we write equivalent statement. That relationship is equivalent statement. So we have 1 dozen equal to 12x. Now, we put it in fraction form because we use it to solve problem. So the conversion will be, factors will be 1 dozen over 12x or 12x over 1 dozen. Then, how do we go from dozen to egg? So our strategy will be going from units of what we know dozen, to units of what we want. And how we get there will be this equivalent statement. Now, we want to set it up. How many x? That's what we want. We set up. This is very important. You start with what you know. What you know. What do you know in this question? We know 2 dozen. You write it on top. Over 1 times. This is conversion factor, how we get there. Now, this dozen here, which is unit of what we know, we must write it here because we want to get rid of it. And the unit of what we know, we write it on top. Okay. Now, we look at these 2 conversion factors. Which one looks like this? It will be 12x over 1 dozen. Then we cross out. And then it will be 2 times 12x equals to 24x. Okay? Let me give you practice question. Let me give you practice question so that you see if you really understood it. Pause your video and try this. How many dozen in 72x? How many dozen in 72x? how many dozen are in 72x? Hopefully you pause the video and tried it on your own. So let's do it together. So now again, we analyze the problem. How many dozen are in 72x? We underline, we circle. Then, do we have any direct relationship between egg and dozen? If there's direct relationship, it means that it's one-step problem. So equivalent statement. One dozen equal to 12x. Now, we will put this in fraction form before we use it in solving the problem. So we have to put it in fraction form. 1 dozen over 12x or 12x over 1 dozen. Now, the strategy, we're starting from x and we are going to dozen using the same equivalent statement. 1 dozen equal to 12x. Now, we set it up. We're setting up how many dozen this time. So we write what we know on top. We know 72x over 1, not over any unit, just over 1. Then this x we put here because we want to get rid of it. We want our answer to be dozen. What we want will be on top. So now we look at this, okay, 1 dozen over 12x. You see, when you look at this, this is one that looks like this. You cross this out. Then we have 72 times 1 dozen over 12. That will give us 6 dozen. Okay, remember, always, we must write you don't forget, this is something you don't forget. Don't forget, in your setup, it has to be what you want over what you know. Okay, always, don't forget that. What you want over what you know. So let's try another example. That will be example 2. Example 2, convert 54 yards to feet. So it's the same steps. So we ask, what's the relationship between feet and yard? This question means, what is the equivalent of 54 yards in feet? So we look here, the equivalent statement between feet and yard. Okay, it's this one. So the equivalent statement, we underline what we know, we circle what we do not know, we said equivalent statements. Three feet equal to 1 yard. Okay, now we write the conversion factors. 3 feet over 1 yard, or 1 yard over 3 feet. Now, our strategy, how do we go from yards, what we know, unit of what we know, to unit of what we do not know, to feet? We get that by using this equivalent statement, 3 feet equal to 1 yard. Remember, it doesn't matter the order. You can write 1 yard equal to 3 feet. They are equivalent. So what we do not know is, now we want to set this up. As I said before, what you know is what you have on top. So we go 54 yards over 1. Not 1, no units, no units. This one is just to show that it's on top. Then we put this, because this is the conversion factor, how we get there, how we get from yards to feet. This number yards, this unit yards, you have to put here. And what you want, you put on top. Okay? Now, this conversion factor, which one? Looks like this. It's 3 feet over 1 yard. We cross this out. Then we will get 54 times 3 feet. That will give us 162 feet. We are done. That's how to do this. Hopefully you know what, you understand it. Then we want to look at okay, I want you to do this practice question number 2. Pause the video and try your best to get it right this time. Convert 1,362 grams to pounds. Hopefully, you know what to do. So let's do it together. Then you check if you got it right, okay? So we analyze the problem. We do know 1,362 grams. We do not know the pounds. Again, this question means equivalent of 1,362 grams in pounds. So we say equivalent statement. Now you look here. Do we have any direct relationship between pounds and grams? Do we have any equivalent statement that has both pounds and grams here? So we look, oh, there's 454 grams equal to 1 pound. Okay, now we put this in conversion factor, in fraction form, conversion factors. So 454 grams over 1 pound, or 1 pound over 454 grams. Then our strategy will be, we are going from what we know, grams, to pounds. We are getting there using this relationship. Okay? Now we want our answer to be in pounds. Again, what do we know in this problem? That thing we know, we put it on top, over 1. Then this is a conversion factor. Grams, we put it here. What we want, we put it on top. Why do we put this here? Because we want to get rid of it. You look at these two. Which one is, it looks like this. It's obviously 1 pound over 454. Let me make sure this looks like 1. Okay. So this cross out this, it will be 1362 times 1 pound over 454, which will be 3 pounds. That's it. Hopefully you got it right. Hopefully you got it right. I will leave you with this practice question where you are giving steps. I want you to use this. This will help you a lot. You can apply it in other problems. Hopefully, you now know how to do dimensional analysis one-step problem. There's also dimensional analysis two-step problem and three-step problem. Okay. Hopefully you learn something out of this. Thank you.